Hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I am going to make a card. I'm going to use this super cute little stamp set called Love Grows Here. It's got a couple potted plants and of course the Love Grows Here sentiment. I'm also using the ribbon and the sequins from the April inspiration box. And I'm going to use a pre-cut card panel to make a slimline card. So let's see what I can do. All right, guys, so I am going to make a card. Kind of crazy, huh? Sometimes I think, yeah, I can be a card maker. And with this card, I really like it. And I'm thinking, yeah, I could be a card maker. So I am using some watercolor paper right here. And I am going to go ahead and put down these 3 little plants so that I can stamp them and cut them out, and then I changed my mind and just do 2 for some reason. Not exactly sure why, but that's the decision I made at the time. I am going to use my Brutus Monroe Raven ink, and I am using a stamp positioner tool. That way I can get a nice crisp line. And then I decided to do a second one of this little guy right here. And now that I have these stamped out on the watercolor paper, I can color them in. Now I am using aqua pigments to do that. I'm just using a thin paintbrush and I'm just going to color them in with a variety of colors. So I have had my aqua pigment collection for a while now. And I have gone through some colors, I've used up colors, brought in other ones. I have some limited edition colors, so they're just ones that I enjoy, and I still have. So I am going to go ahead and put a little bit more. I am going straight in with these colors. I am not diluting them at all with water. You can if you want to, if you want more of a soft watercolor effect, which I thought I might do because I was using the watercolor paper, but it also takes the aqua pigments really well so that you don't really have to worry about seepage. So if I was just using some regular cardstock and I was using the aqua pigments on there, it might just seep a little bit more than the watercolor paper will. So I am thoroughly enjoying using the watercolor paper. This is the lazy way to clean your brush. So you take your water bottle and squirt it over top of your brush into the rag. If you're just using some watercolors or aqua pigments or anything like that, definitely something you could get away with if you're using a tiny little brush like this one. But if you're painting with acrylic or anything like that, I would not recommend doing that. I would recommend actually having a water tub, a water bucket, a water cup, whatever you're using, or get up and go wash your brush in the sink like I do. I am using some green aqua pigments right here to go ahead and color in the leaves. You know, green leaves, nice healthy looking plants. I don't know. I wanted to use these stamps and paint the plants brown like they were dying and make a card for somebody that said, I'm sorry you killed your fake plants because they have such a black thumb. But I didn't think that that would be entirely appropriate project for this video, so I didn't. But just know that that was in the back of my mind. I did paint the flowers in blue as well, and now I am taking an embossing ink pad and icicle embossing powder. The icicle embossing powder is a clear embossing powder. And I'm just doing that to get that nice shiny texture going over top of my plants. And I love the way it turns out. Like, I love the way this turns out. I so enjoy embossing, clear embossing over everything, really. I love doing it on die cuts, items on my layouts. I especially love doing it on stamped images. I think it is really, really awesome. So now that the embossing powder has dried on top of the paper, I am going to go ahead and fussy cut out the potted plants. Now you do see the texture of the watercolor paper because I have embossed it. So that embossing is really like highlighting the fact that the paper is textured. But the plants are so small that it really doesn't matter. And it's not like, you know, potted plants don't have texture to them. Like pots don't have to be smooth. Plants definitely not smooth all the time. So I'm not worried about the texture that I'm like the call to the texture. It's like, woo, this is textured. Not worried about that whatsoever. Now you could have cut out your plants first and then embossed it, but you know, this is the direction I went, so works, right? It works for me. Now I'm going to take that card panel and I am going to use some of the ribbon that came in the inspiration box this month. So the inspiration box is really cool. You get a stamp set, ribbon, other fun little things. I used to get the inspiration box and scrapbook with it. So it's a lot of fun. I am going to go ahead and adhere the ribbon down onto this card panel, and then my plants are going to go right over on top of the ribbon, and I love this. This is really a simple card, but I think that it is very striking with the deep color of the ribbon and the dark color of my plants over top of the white cardstock. I think that it's striking. Like, that's the word I would use for it. And I hope that's the same word you would use for it. I am going to put some pop foam on the back of the plants just to give it a little bit of lift. When I do make cards, I enjoy making them so that they either have some sort of texture to them or they've got something tactile. They're my favorite cards to make. When a card is completely flat, I'm kind of like, huh, I could have just bought it at the store and got a completely flat card. Not slamming on anyone that makes completely flat cards, but for me, I get the joy out of something that is tactile or textured or gives me something to touch on a card that is not flat, right? So if I'm going to spend the time to make a card, because your girl is a scrapbooker through and through, if I'm going to spend the time making a card, it's going to have something on it that I enjoy, right? Because that way I'm going to enjoy the cards. So if you hate cards that have texture on them and you hate cards, like I'm putting sequins down. This is an older sequin mix from the shop, from the Brutus Monroe shop, but the colors coordinated. So if you hate lumpy stuff on your cards, well, you're not going to do that. You're going to make a flat card because that's going to bring you the joy. So make the things that bring you the joy. So I do add on the sequins right there, and like I said, it makes me happy because there's extra things to see. And then I decided to go into my Brutus Monroe stash and pull out, let's see, I have the stamp set right here. It is a stamp set with dies and a stencil to it. And it is the Tree of Kindness stamp set. And I am going to use the sentiment off of here that says, your kindness means so much. And the beautiful thing is that I'm using my stamp positioner tool. So if I don't stamp it as dark as I want it the first time, I can restamp it. I didn't know where my sentiment was going to go on my card until I got the pretty stuff down. So that is going to do it for this card, you guys. I did not place the card panel on a card base for the video, but there it's there, promise. So there it is. Thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for listening to me ramble. I hope you had fun. I had a blast. I will see you guys again real soon for another video.